Hello everyone and welcome to E3 Impressions Part 2. This time we will be discussing Microsoft and Sony's press conference as well as Nintendo's showing at E3 this year. Now in my opinion, E3 didn't really start kicking off until Microsoft's press conference. This is where things started getting interesting. They opened up with Gears 4. Which last year it was complained that it was too dark, you couldn't really tell what was happening on the screen, and but I'm sure a lot of people are excited about this. I'm not that familiar with the series, I just know of its popularity, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are excited about it. They also showed the same trailer for Battlefield 1 that they showed at the EA press conference. For whatever reason, it's a well cut together trailer, but it was the exact same one. They also demonstrated Forza Horizon 3, which was that game looked great. It looked it made driving around in an open world just look fantastic. Better than any other open world driving game out there. The Crew. But anyways, yeah, this game looks fantastic. I want to play this. Recore was surprising to me, but not really in a good way. I thought it was going to be a bigger game, but this game just looked really budget. I'm sure it'll be a fun game. It doesn't look like a bad game. It just is a much more budget game than I expected it to be. Next, we got a gameplay demo of Final Fantasy 15. This demo was honestly kind of boring, and it didn't look like they rehearsed it that much because whoever was playing it he was kind of getting destroyed by the boss or whatever he was fighting. But the game looks like it'll probably be a good game. Final Fantasy 15 looks like it'll be great. The marketing behind it is pretty decent. It's pretty well done, and I think that this game could possibly become one of those classics. We got some more information on Killer Instinct, which is a popular free-to-play fighting game. At least the entry level is free to play. I think you get like 2 characters, but they introduced a new character which is from Gears that they will be adding to the game. There was a trailer for a game called We Happy Few, which looked very, very disturbing and like this weird dystopian thing where the government's doing some weird stuff to try to control the population or something. It looked really creepy, really, really, really weird. We got a Gwent card game, so if you're a fan of that from the Witcher series, then hey, it's gonna be a full card game to compete with Hearthstone and all those other card games. So we will see how that does, if it can take down or even compete or get an audience away from Hearthstone, because that's all they play. They also demonstrated Tekken 7. It was cool. It was like a cinematic, and it transitioned into gameplay. Kind of reminded me of the Ultimate Ninja Storm series, if you're familiar with that, where you have these like interactive quick time events. Like, it makes quick time events actually fun because it's like an interactive film almost, or like it's like you're interacting with the anime, or even on a grander scale than the anime. It's just really beautiful, really fun to watch and play. We got a trailer for Dead Rising 4, which honestly I didn't expect them to announce that. I think the last one got lukewarm response, so it was surprising that it wasn't surprising that they're making another one. It was just surprising that they announced it, because I didn't really think about it. They also had a gameplay demo of Scalebound, which I'm excited for. It has that Japanese feel, that anime feel to it, and I'm excited about that game. The only problem is it's being developed by Platinum Games, and while they have a lot of credibility behind them, they've made some good games in the past. Recently, they've sort of been slipping on the quality front because they've been developing, frankly, too many projects at one time. Far too many projects at one time, like an insane amount of projects. They've made 2 Nintendo exclusive games. They're making this game. This game is an Xbox exclusive, and they're also developing Nier Automata, however you say it, which is a PlayStation exclusive. So they're really stretched thin. They've recently released the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game and the Transformers Devastation game. they're just like a factory outputting these games. I don't know how they're able to even do this, but it's clear that they're stretched thin. We'll see if this game's any good. Sea of Thieves looks like it could be Rare's comeback. We're gonna see what the new Rare is able to do. This game looks fun. It's a pirate simulator. You go around in a pirate ship with your buddies or whatever, and you're a pirate. And the demo, it did it for me. I thought that it looked like a very fun game, and I really want to play it. There's a trailer for State of Decay 2, which is a post-apocalyptic survival game, and a lot of people were fans of the first one. Graphically, it didn't look that great in my opinion. This one looks like it's a really big step up. It looks visually and also in gameplay mechanics. The final big thing they showed at the E3 press conference, as far as games that I'm excited for, was Halo Wars 2, because it's a strategy game. I was a fan of the first one, and I'm excited for this one. I'm a big fan of strategy games, and while the first one was sort of simplified, so it could be played easily on console on a gamepad, it was still a fun game, and I'm excited for this one. During the Xbox press conference, they also talked about the Xbox One S as well as Project Scorpio. Now, Xbox One S is basically just a slimmed down version of the original Xbox One, with the power adapter is inside of the system, so there's no power box that's on the outside of it. It's 40% smaller. They claim it does HDR gaming, which I'm really deep blacks and whites, I guess. But anyways, it looks like a nice piece of hardware. 2 terabytes you can have up to. It starts at $299, so that's a great price, and it looks like a great console. So, if you're in the market for an Xbox One, I guess it's a decent buy, unless you wait till next year, where the Project Scorpio will be released in the holiday season of 2017. The Project Scorpio, they said that it outputs 6.0 teraflops of graphical power. That's from the GPU. A teraflop is a measurement of it's a measurement for graphics processors, like how much power output it's doing. So it's a lot compared to the Xbox's, I believe, 1.6 teraflops of power that it outputs. So this is a big power boost, and it will enable the system to do 4K games at 60 frames per second, as well as high textures and things of that nature, so you get really high fidelity in your games. But they also claim that all games that work on the Project Scorpio will also work on the other versions of the Xbox One. They're calling it the Xbox One family. So this is big news from Microsoft. They are clearly pushing what it means to be a console generation, and they're moving in more incremental steps. So this can either go very well or very badly. We just have to wait to see. I'm excited about this new hardware. I'm excited to see what Sony has to announce concerning their new hardware, but that wasn't a part of their conference, which we will get to right now. So Sony's press conference was quite amazing. They started off with a live orchestra at the Shrine Theater, and they just started playing some music. Didn't really know what it was from. Sounded like it could be like it sounded grand and bombastic. Many people were saying it was probably God of War, and guess what? It turned out to be God of War, and that's what they opened the show with. This one looked a lot different from the other ones, because it looked like, I guess, it had a more mature and somber tone to it. You got an older Kratos, and the camera angle was more similar to a Naughty Dog game. It was extremely cinematic, and it wasn't quite as bombastic, at least in the demo, as the other ones were. And it looked like it was trying to attract a different types of audience. They were making the characters relatable and seem like people, and the camera never cuts away to a different angle, so it's just a constantly rotating camera. So when they get a new angle, you just see the camera move to that angle rather than cutting to a new camera. We got a trailer for Sony Ben's game, but we didn't actually get a demo till the end of the press conference. It was impressive. I'm just gonna talk about it now. The demo, it looked visually stunning, and the amount of enemies that were on screen at the same time looked extremely impressive. While the tone looked similar to something from The Last of Us or something like that, so that was interesting. They dated The Last Guardian. They did that one right. It's coming out this year in October 2016. So, you know, if you've been waiting for that game, it's finally coming out. It kind of became the Half-Life 3 of the PlayStation ecosystem. Next was a David Cage game of Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls fame. It was Detroit Become Human, and it's like one of those games where you go and you kind of make your own story. The game looks great. The demo was extremely shocking, the way they played that one out, but it looks interesting. There's a lot of different choices, a lot of different ways to play it out, so that's kind of it looks like it could be a pretty innovative game in many ways, even more so than Heavy Rain and all those games. So we'll see when that comes out. There was a surprise trailer for Resident Evil 7, which is going to be a VR title. It was really creepy. Didn't really know what was going on. I didn't even realize it was, or think it was actually like that horror game at all in the first place, until certain points in the demo. But I was surprised to see that. Never really been a big Resident Evil fan, but this trailer was it was interesting, and it came out of nowhere. Did not expect to see that. The crowd was excited for this. It's been around for a long time and is viewed as a classic in the gaming community, so it's sort of exciting to see that they just came out of this out of nowhere. It was a big surprise. Not many people were expecting it. We moved into the full VR section after that. Farpoint, which is a new title that's exclusive for the PlayStation VR and is developed internally by an internal studio by one of the studios under the Sony Worldwide Studios umbrella. There was also revealed a PlayStation exclusive Battlefront VR X-Wing mission, which is being developed by DICE and Criterion. This actually looked really interesting. I was excited, okay? When they started playing the music, I was like, man, it's Star Wars, it's gonna be great. It said VR mission, but who cares? You know, it's Star Wars, it's gonna be a fun VR mission, and if this is popular, you can bet they're gonna come out with more, especially since we know that a new Battlefront is coming out next year, and they'll just have it in that game already, and it might be an even more fleshed out VR experience. Who knows? They had another trailer for Final Fantasy 15, and at the end they had a VR experience, Stinger, which you play as Prompto, which he has like this like laser gun type thing, and you're like teleporting around. So it's really simple. You're not likely to get sick or anything from it since you're not moving at all. You're just kind of teleporting from place to place. So it's probably a fun experience, fun early VR experience. Of course, in the future, when there's future iterations of VR, you'll look back on this and say, man, that was really, really basic, and I don't know why I thought that was so amazing. But for now, it's gonna be mind-blowing. Got a trailer for Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. It looked crazy. They were in space, flying around, and it was a lot different for COD. This actually made a lot of people stop hating on it, because when we saw the first trailer, a lot of people did not like that trailer. Then after that, there was a trailer for Modern Warfare Remastered, which is the one that really popularized the Call of Duty series, and people were excited about that. They also got Crash Bandicoot Remastered, which came out. He came out and he was just walking, and in his shadow, it was a Crash silhouette, and I was like, there's no way they're doing this. There's no way. They started playing the music. I was like, all right. Everyone thought that it was just gonna be, all right, Crash is going to be in Skylanders Imaginators and that's it. But nope, he said Crash 1, 2, and 3 are being fully remastered from the ground up. Those were his words concerning this remaster. So that sounded pretty impressive, and this is how they're gauging whether or not to make a new one. If it's popular, if a lot of people buy it, then that'll give them incentive to want to make another Crash Bandicoot game. So if you want a new one, buy these remasters. Then of course the obligatory announcement and trailer of Crash Bandicoot and Skylanders Imaginators. And then we got a trailer for Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens. Game looks great. This is where the press conference kind of slowed a bit, but it didn't ruin the press conference at all. It looks like a great game. The trailer was just kind of long for some reason for Lego Star Wars. We all know what Lego Star Wars is like. It's been around for years. It's simple, it's fun, and it's these casual experiences you can pick up and play, drop in, drop out co-op, and they're fun games. I've been playing them since I was really young. Then Kojima comes out and they're playing like Mad Max music because Sony owns the rights to that, and he comes walking out and he reveals his new game, which is indeed Norman Reedus is still involved in, and it's called Death Stranding. The trailer was really weird and confusing, didn't really know, but it'll probably be a great game considering Hideo Kojima is directing it and he's the visionary behind it. So we will see more about that. It was running in real time in whatever engine they were using, but they probably really don't have much of the game done yet. They probably just put that together to present at the E3 press conference, but it's fine. His games usually take a lot of time to bake, and it'll turn out to be a great game. Since he really takes his time to realize his vision. The final reveal during the E3 press conference, aside from the gameplay demo for Days Gone, was that an exclusive Spider-Man is in development for the PlayStation 4 system by none other than Insomniac Games, which was a big surprise. There was a rumor going around that the Spider-Man game would be in development by Sucker Punch, but there was a lot of doubt to it because people could not see why a Spider-Man game would be exclusive to the PlayStation platform. However, it indeed is, because not a lot of people realize this because they think that Sony just has a license or whatever for Spider-Man, but in reality, when Marvel was going bankrupt in the 90s, they literally sold part of the Spider-Man character to Sony. So Sony owns part of the Spider-Man character, and their license isn't going to expire because they have capital in this character. So Spider-Man is, it's in part one of Sony's properties. So that's why and they have influence. They of course have this partnership with Marvel, including Spider-Man in the cinematic universe. So that it makes sense that this game is indeed. It sucks for people who don't have a PlayStation 4, but it makes sense that it's an exclusive for the PlayStation 4 platform. And finally, we have Nintendo. They made the decision not to have any sort of conference or Nintendo Direct this year. Instead, they opted to have a really impressive booth and focus only on Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is their new game that their big game they're releasing for both the Wii U and the Nintendo NX, which they did not really talk about, but this game looks great, looks fantastic. You can go around, you can fly, it's a completely open world, you can jump, you can climb, you can cut down trees, you can cook now, there's interactive puzzles, and it's a truly open world. You can tell that the creators of this are looking at other RPGs, are playing other RPGs, and they are really going all in on this game, and it's probably going to look fantastic on the NX. Many of the textures and the aliasing wasn't completely there on the Wii U, but on the NX it's going to look fantastic. This game looks very good. From what I heard, people who were at E3, they had an entire booth dedicated to this game, and there still wasn't enough for everyone to play. So, while we were criticizing Nintendo's decision not to have any sort of conference or direct, it turned out to be a very good move on their part. People are hyped for this game. However, it remains to be seen if that's enough to get Nintendo out of the sort of financial lull they're in. We'll see when the NX comes out. I'm excited to see what exactly the NX is, as I'm sure a lot of other people are as well. But yeah, overall, this E3 was pretty good. This day was excellent, especially Microsoft's conference, and then Sony stole the show completely with their conference because they had more stuff than even Ubisoft, but they only took an hour, a little over an hour for their conference, and they really just showed games. They talked very little. I think they could have given a little bit more context for some of their demonstrations, but overall, this is a step in the right direction. And you can see a pattern with Sony where they've been reducing the time of their conference year by year for the last like 2 or 3 years. So it's really nice. I'm sure we're gonna get more information on other titles such as, you know, Nier and Persona and whatever. We're gonna see those on the stage at probably Paris Games Week and later at a PlayStation Experience. So be ready for that. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for Gamescom to see what Microsoft and EA announced there. But overall, yeah, it was enjoyable. The second day of conferences was the better day in my opinion. There was more, of course, but they were also better. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts on the conferences? Please let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more content. Follow me on Twitter so I can keep you up to date with my uploads. As always, stay super, and I'll see you in the next video.